The spring season moves onto tournament time, and county champs are crowned. That's next on High School Sports Scene. Hi, and welcome to this edition of High School Sports Scene. I'm Ryan Plano. County championships were up for grabs on the lacrosse field. Let's see who came out on top.
For the second consecutive year, the Baltimore County Girls Lacrosse Championship, held this year at Franklin High's McWilliams Stadium, pitted the Comets of Catonsville versus the defending champion Dulaney Lions. The Comets hit the ground running as they streaked out to a 6-0 lead in the first 7 minutes of the game. Freshman midfielder Lauren McDonald scored a pair of goals, and senior Rachel Schwab added a pair of her own to pace the Comet attack. Following the Comet onslaught, Dulaney regrouped and began chipping away at the deficit. Senior attack Melissa Webster got the Lions on board first. Dulaney senior captain Kara Henning added 2 goals to cut the Comet lead in half. But Rachel Schwab scored twice more, pushing the Comets out to an 8-3 lead. The Lions' Webster added her second goal to make it 8-4 with 7:30 left in the half. From there, the Comets put their foot on the gas. Junior Claudia Flister scored. Her midfield mate Deb Milani added 2. Rachel Sachs notched a goal. And Jennifer Nahn scored the first of her 2 goals to push the Comet lead to 14-4 at the half. Dulaney made a valiant effort to catch up in the second half as Melissa Webster scored 30 seconds in, and Kenzie Brown got one of her 2 goals to cut the Comet lead to 14-6. Following Rachel Schwab's 6th goal of the game, Sarah Del Benny scored for the Lions. Dulaney senior Shannon McHugh added a goal with 14:15 left in the game to give the Lions fans hope. But the Comets refused to allow Dulaney to get much closer than that, on the way to an 18-12 victory and the title of Baltimore County champions.
Now it's time for boys lacrosse. The Dulaney Lions were looking to get some revenge after 2 consecutive losses to the Hereford Bulls. The Bulls were looking for their 14th consecutive victory. The Lions' game plan was to slow the pace down and take good shots. Tate Berman fires a shot, but the goalie Brock Turnbull makes a nice block. Lions had another opportunity when Jake Calder fires from the crease but misses. The Bulls get started when Jack Adams fires and scores, and goalie Alex Stansbury almost makes a spectacular play. But the Lions came right back with an assist from Keegan Colgrove to Joe Fiegels with the score. The Bulls came charging back when Morgan Pritchard picked up a pass that was not for him and fires a laser to the back of the net. Then Jack Adams makes a move, fires a shot, and scores for his 2nd goal of the day. At the break, Hereford 3, Dulaney 1. Hereford came out being patient with the ball, and Adams receives a pass, gets checked, but managed to get off a shot and scores. Dulaney came right back, also being patient with the ball. Tillman Sanders with their sister Joe Fiegels with the score, their second score of the day. Then the Bulls just stepped on the gas and put the Lions away with scores from Jason Ashwood and Adam Sabelli. Tough day for the Lions, who lost 11-2. The Bulls are ready to compete for their 5th consecutive state championship. They look prime and ready.
Sparrows Point High School played host to this year's County Track and Field Championships.
Blue skies and sunshine greeted the competitors at the Baltimore County Track and Field Championships held at Sparrows Point High School. Before the first final of the day, the event received a new name in honor of retiring BCPS Superintendent Dr. Joe A. Hairston.
Today we have with us Dr. Joe A. Hairston, our superintendent. He's been our superintendent since 2000, and after 12 years of leading this school system, he's going to retire June 30th. And that's why it's very appropriate that we honor Dr. Hairston today with the student athletes and with a sport he loved to coach and had some great success. From this day forward, this county championship, District 6, is going to be known as the Dr. Joe A. Hairston District 6 Track and Field Championship.
In addition, Dr. Hairston received varsity letters from each BCPS high school, along with a letterman's jacket and stopwatch. He then started the first final of the day. The event saw some surprises as Milford Mill captured the boys' outdoor title, its first since 1999, and Franklin's girls won their first county track title ever. The Millers were powered by Kashif Burton, who won the 110 and 300 meter hurdles and ran on the Millers' winning 400 and 1600 meter relay teams. Franklin was led by senior Ashley Brannick, who won at 100, 200, and 400 meters. Other male standouts included Perry Hall Jr. Vince Ciotti, who doubled in the boys' 16 and 3200 meter runs, Catonsville's Vincent Tidings Randall, who won the boys' 100 and 200 meter dashes, and Lansdowne's Yelnats Calvin, who took the boys' 400. On the girls' side, Hereford sophomore Sarah Carter won the 3200 and finished second to teammate Emily Vanderwater in the 1600, pacing the Hereford girls to second place.
Now, let's meet this month's outstanding male student athlete. He is Tete Obot, shortstop for Pikesville's varsity baseball team. Here's Colin Parts with the story.
Tete Obot, the shortstop for Pikesville High School's varsity baseball team, has been playing baseball since he was 3 years old, after being introduced to the game by his brothers.
My brothers, they came from Nigeria when they're in their early childhood, and then they watched the game. They saw the game on TV. They watched the Orioles growing up, and they just grew on me because I was always around them.
Tete has lived with his brothers in America for most of his life, while his parents live in Nigeria. He stays here to play the game he loves.
Actually, I went there 2 years ago, and the plan was for me to stay there and to go to school there. And I didn't play baseball there because they don't play baseball in Nigeria. That essentially got me back here because my parents knew that my love for baseball would be better suited for me to stay in America.
Tete's love of the game and devotion to it have been clearly visible to his team.
He's a voracious competitor. He always wants to win. He does not take losing sitting down. Even if our throats are being stepped on by another team, never goes down without a fight.
Tete has athleticism, and with athleticism, that helps bring it one stage forward for the development. The rest is what you have in your heart, and I think that what he puts out on the field every day, when he leaves the field, there's no less than 110%.
Even when the team is having a bad game, though, Tete's positive attitude shows through.
If there's ever a bad game, he didn't hang his head. You know, he told us what we needed to do, how we can fix it, how we learn from the game. And he never lets any player hang his head, no matter who makes an error, who strikes out. He's always there to pick them up.
1, 2, 3, Pikesville!
Usually when we're losing, instead of throwing your head down, he'll try and do his best to keep his head up and go on to the next play.
Although he is an incredibly key player to the team, Tete is not cocky or full of himself and is always willing to help his teammates and do what is best for the team.
A lot of players are very selfish and they'll play for themselves. You know, if you want to play in college, they try to highlight themselves and their aspects, their strengths, whether it's hitting or fielding. He is a big team player. He does what he can, never tries to overshadow anybody, just plays his game and that's it.
However, being a team player does not mean that Tete will not do whatever he can to help his team win.
I also make the play, you know, make that play that changes the game. I like to be the game changer.
And his long experience in playing the game has allowed him to become the game changer he wants to be.
Since I've been around the game for so long, it's so natural for me to play the position. I know where to be at all times. I know what situations and what the outcomes may be and how they change it as the game goes on.
This valuable asset will certainly be very helpful in Tete's attempt at achieving his goals for the future in regards to baseball.
My goal since I was a child was to play in the major leagues, and it's definitely still a goal today.
We wish Tete and the rest of the team all the best. For High School Sports Scene, I'm Colin Parts.
Congratulations to Tete. To honor his selection as this month's Outstanding Male Student Athlete, he will receive an award provided by Allegram Incorporated in Timonium. Coming up next is Randy Dace with Coach's Corner. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another edition of High School Sports Scene. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, I'm Ryan Plano. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Randy Dace and welcome to Coach's Corner. My guests today are Matt Kohel, the varsity baseball coach at Lansdowne High School, and his junior pitcher, Sam Warfield. Gentlemen, welcome to High School Sports Scene. And I should say congratulations so far, right, Coach? Had a good season, your record?
So far, we're 13-2, sitting well for the #1 seed for the playoffs.
And we have, at this point, as we're taping, you have 2 more games to go here in the first week of May. And Sam, when they started March 1, warming up for baseball, did you believe that your team would be 14-2 at this point?
It surprised me. You know, I thought we were going to go in there having trouble with the bats, but we started out and we're doing good.
And Coach, you're coming off a great season, aren't you? Because you went to the state finals last year, which was the first time Lansdowne been in the state finals since
1998.
Okay, 1998, and they got beat in that state finals, didn't they, in '98?
Correct, by North Carolina, same team that beat us.
Bad news, they only beat you 4-0 last year.
Correct.
But to get there in baseball, and you were 2A school, is a tremendous accomplishment.
Correct.
How did it feel?
Very surreal. You know, you get there and you get advice from coaches who have been there, and they say take as many pictures as you can and film it because it's going to go by quick. And the other kid threw a one-hitter, Sam. We were only down 2-0 into the 6th inning, so the game only lasted about 2 hours. So we really didn't have much time to take it in until it was over, and then you go back and you reflect on it. So it was very surreal.
Now, Sam, you're a sophomore pitching in the state championship. Is that a dream?
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, really nervous, but it was fun.
That's fun because we were just talking about Sam sitting here. He looks very cool, calm, and collective. Is he that way on the mound most of the time?
99% of the time. He doesn't really get flustered. It's hard to tell if he does or if he doesn't. If I go out for a mound visit, I know I don't really have to say much. It's just there to kind of break the tension of the game. And you know, I just give him the ball back and he goes.
Sam, is that natural or did somebody teach you to be that way?
Just came naturally. So
that's a great trait to have as a teacher, as a pitcher, I should say, because you see people explode on the mound, and they throw the next pitch, boom, somebody hits it out of the park. Now, Coach, you're sort of unique there at Lansdowne. You've been coaching for 6 years. You want to tell us what your position was at Lansdowne until this last year?
I was a school resource officer.
You want to tell our audience what that is?
Yeah, which is the police officer, Baltimore County police officer that is assigned to work in the schools, and it mentors, teaches, and obviously keeps the law and order within the building and the surrounding area.
But now you're back on the streets.
Correct.
But you still get to coach.
Correct.
And as you said, you just worked the all-night shift last night?
Yep. Yep, all night. Got off at 6:30 this morning.
Did you really? Got a little donuts afterwards?
No, Chick-fil-A.
I'm just kidding. Okay. So we're all set for practice then each day at 3:30 or so. What does baseball bring to your life, Coach? Because I know it's pretty hectic if you're out working the streets. And what does it bring to you?
I like coaching the boys because it brings the camaraderie, and you get to have that relationship with them outside of being the police officer. When I'm in the building, even when I was the police officer in the building, the guys called me coach. Even guys I didn't coach, the lacrosse players or football players, basketball players, they call me coach instead of officer. So it brings me, closer to the guys, and it also helps me, just get through the day. Stressful job, stressful situations, and you deal with a different type of people. And working the midnight shift, you only deal with a certain type.
Right.
So you go out there and you work with the kids who want to learn, and who look up to you. It pays off.
Now, you played high school baseball and
Correct.
You played college baseball, and you said you had aspirations to go pro, but what happened?
I tore my rotator cuff, and I used to throw as hard as this guy right here, until my high school coach decided that he didn't care about the innings rules, and I pitched just about every other game.
Wow.
And threw my arm out in high school and tried to get it back in college and just couldn't get it back.
Sam, how hard do you throw the ball?
I throw 85.
Okay. You got some pretty good pitches. What's your best?
My best is probably my two-seam fastball.
Mm-hmm. Huh. You a pretty good hitter?
Yeah, hit the ball pretty good.
And I asked Sam earlier, I said, Sam, what do you do in the fall? He says he plays baseball. What do you do in the spring? You play baseball. What do you do in the summer? You play baseball. But what do you do during the winter time, Sam?
I box.
Now, you're the first boxer I've had on high school sports scene in 27 years. How'd you get into boxing?
My uncle actually got me into it. My cousins were getting bullied, so they had started it, and it sounded something I'd like to do, so I just went with it.
So you do it competitively?
Yes.
And when you first walked in, I looked at his broad shoulders. Now, Coach, do you like him boxing in the wintertime?
It scares me, to be honest. I mean, last year at the beginning of the year, I heard that he was still boxing, and we were at practice in the gym, and I walked up behind him and I said, "Hey, I hear you're still boxing. I want to protect that right hand, so just back off."
So you're only allowed to hit with the left hand? Is that how that works?
So about a week later, his sparring partner came up and was yelling at me because I took his sparring partner away because he decided that during baseball season he would back off of boxing. Very good. Sam, how about Coach? You've been with Coach now your whole time since you've been at Lansdowne.
Yes.
Describe Coach. Is he cool, calm, and collective? Is he fiery? Tell me about him.
He's pretty relaxed, I mean, you make an error, he tells you to pick up your head. He don't really yell too much. He's a really good coach. It's fun to have around.
And Coach, in high school baseball, I always have to giggle. You got to put the outfit on, don't you?
The only sport that does.
Why is that?
I have no idea. If I could change it, I would, but it is what it is, and the styles have changed from what I prefer, so I got to wear what they want to wear.
How many assistants do you have?
I have one assistant, and then I have one JV coach who will come up at the end of the year and be, an additional assistant.
Now let me ask you this: in high school baseball, sometimes I see the kids working first and third bases, coaching. Do you have the kids or do you have the coaches?
If the coach is available, we have the coach. If the coach is unavailable, if I've had to have my assistant coach go down and coach JV for a reason, or he's unavailable, then I have a player coach. So it depends on the situation.
Sam, let's go back and look at the season right now. I know you still have 2 more games left. Is there a couple games or so in your mind that you thought were very pivotal games, or something that stands out in your mind that was a great win for the Vikings?
All I could really think about is the Towson game. I mean, we lost, but we put up a great fight. It was probably the best game of the season. We played really well. So,
Coach, how about that Towson game? You got beat by him, but what happened? It was pretty tight at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, we scored 2 in the top of the 8th to take a 4-2 lead. Gave up another one in the bottom of the 8th, and we had bases loaded with 2 outs and a ground ball to shortstop. Bobbled it and then tried to throw it a guy out at second base, and the ball ended up in right field. I scored 2 runs.
Now, if I was scouting your team, what are some notes that I would take down about Lansdowne?
We're very fundamental, fundamentally sound. We hit the ball well, and solid pitching. Solid pitching is what's carried us all year long. You know, not just Sam, but you know his friend Joey Kramer, a little lefty who throws 20 miles an hour slower than him, but all he does is throw strikes. He's got a similar ERA. Junior Ryan Miller, and they're all juniors. I have 3 pitchers that are all juniors, and our team ERA right now is at like 2.29 for the year.
And they say to be successful in baseball is pitching, pitching, and pitching.
Correct.
Sam, you watch the O's?
Yes.
You a real O's fan?
Yep. Watch almost every game.
Do you really?
Yes, sir.
Who's your favorite pitcher?
Arrieta.
Huh. Yeah, it's a good time to watch the O's, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, a little fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit
yesterday.
more fun, isn't it? And yesterday had a marathon game. Now, Sam, do you see yourself pitching and going to college and pitching possibly?
I definitely want to, go to college and try to pitch. So.
Coach, is he avid for the college ball? You've been there.
Most definitely. Most definitely. He has the ability, he has the attitude, he has the work ethic. I mean, being a boxer, you put in countless hours to be able to do that. So, it's just a matter of getting him exposure to the college coaches and getting him come out to watch him. And he's a junior, so he's got this year and next year, and we'll ramp that up, this summer and next year and get him placed somewhere.
So we're at the end of the season, 2 more games, and then we have the region coming up. And you want to tell us, Coach, a little bit about the region? What are your thoughts?
I'm confident with the region, the way it could break down. Last year we kind of wanted Eastern Tech on our side, and they've moved up, so we don't have to worry about that. And they were eliminated last year by Digital Harbor, so it made it a little bit easier. This year going in, we had a mind of we want to win the division. Well, the Towson game, cost us that. Now we want to win the region. We got the #1 seed, so we're going to be guaranteed home field for every game, and that's a huge advantage. And the boys have confidence. And after the Towson game, I told them we need to win 7 in a row, just like we did before. And 7 in a row will put us as region champs.
Now, Sam, you looking forward to maybe pitching in that state championship game again?
I would definitely want to do it again.
And I'd say as a junior, that would be perfect to have a sophomore come back as a junior. And that's played down at the University of Maryland?
No, that's actually played at Ripken Stadium.
Oh, that's right. They changed it, Ripken Stadium.
Yep.
So that's fantastic up there, a great ballpark.
Yep.
Well, listen, gentlemen, Coach, congratulations on getting that program rolling down there and going to the state finals last year. And Sam, congratulations, only being a junior, doing a great job as a sophomore. And we're going to keep our eyes on Lansdowne, cross our fingers, and hopefully we'll see you in that state championship game come the latter part of May. For High School Sports Scene, I'm Randy Dace. Thanks for watching. See you next time.